Thumbelina. Once upon a time, there was a woman who had no children. She dreamed of having a little girl, but her dream never came true. One day, while she was walking in the garden, she came across a very beautiful tulip. It was so beautiful. The woman softly kissed its half-shut petals. As she kissed them, the flowers burst open. Inside sat a tiny girl, no bigger than a thumb. The woman called her Thumbelina. She made a beautiful cradle for her from a walnut shell. She decorated her bed. Thumbelina started to sleep in that cradle. In the daytime, she played games with the water on the table that the woman had put a bowl for her. A large tulip leaf floating on the water was serving as a boat for Thumbelina. Thumbelina sat on and sailed from one side to the other side of the bowl. It was very funny for her. She was also singing songs. Her voice was so beautiful that it had not been heard before. Then one night, as she was sleeping in her soft shell bed, a large wet frog came in from the window. The frog went to her. She'd make the perfect wife for my son. She took up the walnut shell with Thumbelina inside and hopped with it through the window into the garden. The frog took her their swamp. When her son saw the beautiful Thumbelina, he became very happy. "Croak, croak, croak," he called. "Mother Frog, be quiet. You will wake her up. We will put her at once on a large water lily leaf in the stream. While she is there, we are going to prepare a room for both of you under the marsh." Then she carried Thumbelina on a water lily leaf. "She can't run away from us there," she said to her son. "And we have plenty of time to prepare a new home," she added. Thumbelina was alone, and she started to cry. The two little fish swimming under the water had heard her bitter crying in the frog's conversation. Then they decided to do something. So they nibbled the lily stem till it broke and drifted away in the stream. A butterfly saw Thumbelina and settled on the leaf. The butterfly had an idea. "Sit between my wings and hold tight. I'll help you get to the ground." Thumbelina gratefully did it so. She got away from the frog pond. She was safe, but there were a lot of dangers around. A large beetle snatched Thumbelina with his strong feet and took her away to his home at the top of a leafy tree. But the beetle's friends pointed out that she was far too different. So the beetle took her down the tree and let her go. Thumbelina wandered all by herself among the long grass. She was just eating pollen. Poor girl. It was cold and rainy. She had difficulty in finding food and shelter. It was getting colder. Thumbelina felt cold some nights. One day, as Thumbelina roamed helplessly over the meadows, she met a large spider who promised to help her. She took her to a hollow tree and closed the door with strong web. Then the spider called some of her friends to show her beauty. But just like the beetles, all the other spiders persuaded him to let her go. After that, Thumbelina left the spider's house. As she wandered, shivering with the cold, suddenly she came across a little cottage and knocked the door hopefully. A mouse opened the door. "What are you doing outside in this weather? Come in and warm yourself," she said. Comfortable and cozy, the mouse's home was stocked with food. "If you want, you can stay with me during the winter, but you will tidy and clean my room. Every day you will tell the best stories I love," said the mouse. Thumbelina accepted the rules. She cleaned the room and told stories. One day the mouse, "One of my friends is visiting me today. He is a very rich mole, and he has a very nice house, but he is blind. He needs a friend, and he may want to marry you," said the mouse. Thumbelina did not like the idea, but she had to clean the house and get ready. When the mole came, he liked her very much. He made a proposal, but Thumbelina did not answer. The mole left there, and while they were walking, the mole tripped on an ill swallow in the tunnel. The mole said impolite words to the swallow. Thumbelina realized how cruel the mole was. Thumbelina visited the swallow every day and nursed her. In the meantime, the swallow was recovered and told Thumbelina about her story. Hurt by a thorn, she had been unable to follow its companions to a warmer climate. "It's kind of you to nurse me," she told Thumbelina. Then the swallow flew away. One day, Thumbelina asked to spend a day in the fresh air. As she gently fingered a flower, she heard a familiar song. "Winter's on its way, and I'll be off to warmer lands. Come with me." It was the swallow's voice. Thumbelina got on the swallow's back. Thumbelina hugged her friend tightly, and the bird soared into the sky. In a short time, they reached a country of flowers. There she met Thumb Prince. In a very short time, they got married and lived happily.